Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Outkick MMA. So 370 I am Brennan, UFC 298, Volkanovski, Topuria, prelims. Right? This could be Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. The rest of the prelims, we're going to break them all down round by round. Talk about some scoring, talk about some future plans, and some weird commentary. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. I'd really appreciate it, and it does help me. I really do. I do mean it. It helps me out a lot. Okay. Let's get started. Let's go. Okay, so how good is Mackenzie Dern? This is a genuine question. I'm waiting. I'll wait. You guys comment down below. Let me know, and then I'll get back to you once I see your responses. Is that not how this? That's not how this works. Okay. Amanda Lemos getting it done. So commentary was a little wacky in this round. I think. So I mentioned it in my last video. If you guys didn't check out, I broke down the main card in the last video. So I think that Rogan was in a weird mood. I don't know if he, again, I'm not accusing him of doing anything particularly heinous. Okay, I think that he was just, I said he was on one. And that's what it seemed like he was. Because he had some favorite fighters, he had some particulars that he really wanted to point out, and he threw them out there. He was very DC-esque last night, and it was quite apparent. Mackenzie Dern, for all of her faults, she is an excellent grappler. But any time she would do anything grappling related, it was, oh, here it is. This is where Mackenzie Dern wants to be, as she's getting pummeled in the clinch, or as she's pulling guard to survive. Let's talk about how this fight went. So Lemos landing a low kick early, doing some crazy damage to that front leg. Dern overextended and trying to chase. As usual, her striking has not improved. I think she needs to go back to Jason Perillo. If I'm not mistaken, I think she left Jason Perillo to work with someone else. I think she needs to go back. There was a time there where her striking did get better, and I think if she could shore up her striking and mix it in with her takedowns, I think with her forward pressure and her ability to take a shot, I think she could eventually win a title, given the right opponents and circumstances, especially with her favoritism from the UFC, liking her a lot. She does get favorable judges' decisions quite a bit. She has a few split decisions that went her way. So Dern's wobbly on that front leg already with a huge welt on it in this first round. Lemos is doing a good job circling, but Dern gets a double leg with 2:40 left in the round. Little to no damage on the ground for Dern. You cannot give her this round. This is an excellent example. I say this a lot, and I'll say it again, because anytime you have an example like this is a great time to demonstrate the proper usage of the scoring system. Even though we can all agree that it's not perfect, that's fine, but we have a set of criteria. Mackenzie Dern landed 8 shots in this round. They were not significant strikes by any means. Lemos landed really good damaging strikes in this round, making Dern pay for making her mistakes. Then she got 2 minutes and 45 seconds of control time. And how many ground strikes did she land in this first round? 4. How many submission attempts did she have? 0. So with that control time of 2 minutes and 45 seconds, she did little to no damage for strikes. We could go back and watch it. There's no damage. You want to talk about those 4 strikes being damaging? They weren't. And she attempted no submissions. So, by definition, this was literally just a change of position and control time. This should not count for anything. And meanwhile, I saw scoreboards all over the place. I heard commentary team talking about how Dern controlled this round and why, this is her round. No way. 10-9 for Lemos. If she had landed 2 elbows on the ground, 2 really big elbows that damaged Lemos, I'd give her this round. I really would. She just did nothing when she was there. Kicks at range to the body for Lemos as Dern chases her. Lemos dropped her with the right hand, chasing her down. Dern taking a ton of damage. She curled up into a ball. Go back and watch the replay if you didn't. She throws her guard up, high guard, and curls up and falls backwards. That immediately is grounds for a fight ending. You can't do that. You cannot curl up and then fall backwards and expect the fight to go on. Why that? Who did this? Mike Beltran Why he allowed this to go on, I have no idea. She was not fighting back for a majority of the damage that was being laid out in this round. She got outstruck here 24-8, took a ton of damage. Dern's face was all fucked up. She got the sweep in the last 10 seconds to get on top, but that's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, this should have been a 10-8 round. She was done multiple times in this round. I had a 20-17 going into the last round. Dern lands a right hand and then pulls guard. Dern wins this last round. Dern cannot win. In my opinion, this fight should have been stopped in that second round. I don't think anything that happened after that should matter, but obviously it does. This last round, I gave it to Dern because Lemos didn't land enough. She didn't land enough damage in here. Let's see how the scorecards went. Oh, also, after the fight, Dern puts her hands out like she won, and there's a celebration. There's even a celebration picture of her. I actually don't know if I have it. I might have it. But it's kind of funny. I pulled it because in the description of the picture. Here, let's spit this up because I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah. All right. Look. So this is the picture after the fight. Okay. And in the description, it says, blah, blah, blah. Mackenzie Dern celebrates her victory by decision against Amanda Lemos during UFC 298. What? So that's what I'm saying. She was celebrating her victory. Absolutely not. Let's look at the judges' scorecards and see how they had it. All three judges saw it the exact same way. Mike Bell, Derek Clearly, and Saul D'Amato both gave the first two rounds to Lemos and the last round to Dern. That is the right move. That's the right call. I'm glad they got that right. If Dern got that, it would be another bullshit decision that she has gotten away with. I'm glad she's not being rewarded for that. Nobody should be rewarded for holding someone down, regardless of how good you are on the ground or where you want to be. I don't care. Those are all pointless arguments that are made by people who don't understand the scoring system. You can't say that intent counts more, right? If my intent is to hold you down and your intent is to stand up, it doesn't matter. If I'm holding you down, all I'm doing is controlling, right? If I don't put damage in there, this is just control time. If all other things are equal, then I win. If you almost knock me out and then I hold you down for 3 minutes of the round, I don't win. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to hold you down. It doesn't matter if you're trying to stand back up. Intent is irrelevant when it comes to damage and scoring. It's irrelevant. So just because someone's a grappler and can do an excellent job on the ground, which I'm a huge fan of, by the way, I love that stuff. But just because someone's really good at it and wants to be there and clearly is in control when they're doing that, if they can't even put up a legitimate submission attempt, then they have scored 0 points. That's how that works. I've talked about this before too. Going for a submission and not getting it, right? Not a submission setup is not a submission attempt. You have to have it locked in. Okay? A submission setup is nothing because then where do you draw the line? Oh, well, I got his arm across my body. That was clearly the setup for the triangle or the arm bar. So I was on my way to an arm bar or a triangle. But you didn't. You didn't do it. You didn't lock it in. So no, that's not how that works. Oh, clearly I was holding his wrist, so I was setting up no, because you can just go back as far as you want. That's a ridiculous argument. So a setup is not a submission. It's not a submission attempt. So it's not points. It's just control time. And I've said this before. You are looking for a fight-ending sequence. And in that sequence, you are giving up a lot of things. You're giving up an opportunity to score damage. You're giving up opportunity for positional control a lot of times when go for a submission. You're giving up a lot of time on the clock to go for a fight-ending sequence. And in that fight-ending sequence, if you do come to a complete, that's the thing though, is if you get that fight ending, the fight's over and you win. If you get the submission, you win. It's an ultimate risk-reward. Right? It's ultimate risk-reward. Because if you just control the whole time and land a little bit of damage here and there, it's not as risky. but the reward isn't as high because you're just going to win the round unless you're throwing down some really big ground and pound, in which case you do have to posture up. And then again, the risk-reward ratio goes up. So the thing is, I'm not against submissions, but unless you are doing something in the process of going after that submission, you are going to lose if your opponent damaged you. That's how this works. So she should not be rewarded for holding someone, regardless of how good she is at it. That is not how we score things. If that's how you want to score things and that's how things are going to be scored going forward, then fine. But that requires a change that isn't there today. That's my rant. I'm done with that one. Lemos is good. Marcos Rogerio de Lima versus Junior Tafa, stepping in for his brother. I don't think this was a short notice thing, although, so Junior Tafa steps in for his brother, Justin Tafa, on short notice. De Lima using the low kicks, trying to keep Tafa against the fence, and the leg kick from De Lima makes Tafa hop, and then he shoots into the clinch. He kicks him so hard in the leg that Tafa can't walk, and then he shoots into the clinch instead of kicking him again. Tafa smiles as he takes another leg kick. De Lima gets this round he gets him to the ground, and he's there for the rest of the round. Absolutely idiotic game plan from Tafa or from Lima, unless he was being nice. If he was being nice and he was like, hey, I don't want to destroy this guy's leg or whatever, and I just want to whatever. If that's what he was thinking, then fine. Good grief. Hard kick from De Lima and then some follow-up with the hooks. Not much lands, but Tafa isn't quitting on himself and then takes one more leg kick and then he drops and it's done. That should have been done in the first round. Did not need to extend that into the second. Is this that weird one? Yes, it is. Very weird fight. Rinyua Nakamura versus Carlos Vera. Very, very weird fight. You got a guy rolling for heel hooks and being slick off of his back, ducking under for things, but again, no damage from him, so you can't score anything for him. Vera making his debut seems kind of like a sacrificial lamb for Nakamura. Vera's rolling under for leg lock, going for the heel hook and then a straight ankle, but taking some damage on his back. When a guy is only going for leg locks a whole round, it's hard to call it for him when he really doesn't have much control or attempts. So because you're going for leg locks, you're on the bottom. And because you're going for leg locks, unless it's locked in tight, and even when it is, that usually means it's over, especially for heel hooks. I mean, straight ankles you can kind of gut out. But, he had multiple setups for calf slicers. There was multiple moments. Anyway, I had Nakamura up in this round, 16-6 for striking numbers in his favor. The thing is, Vera had multiple opportunities when he inverted and rolled under because he was using the Granby rolls to get into better position and suck a leg in to go for it. But he ended up in an inverted triangle position multiple times, and he didn't attempt one until the last round in the last 30 seconds of the fight. And I was looking at it every single time, and I understand that in the moment you might not think of it, but he must never throw those up because those were easy attempts. He could have thrown those up so easy. Because his legs were already there. He had the arm in, he had the head in. All he had to do was literally put his knee behind, or his ankle behind his knee, and he had a legitimate attempt. And I think I don't know if he would have won the fight that way, but he definitely could have looked a lot better than he did. Nakamura catches the kick, and they're back down on the ground in the second round. Nakamura staying pretty solid on top, controlling the turtle, even from inside the guard. Very little damage, but Nakamura gets it done. 12-2 for striking numbers. Not the most interesting fight. Vera using kicks at range to start the round. Nakamura wins this one. Vera having some real issues with that left shoulder. Not a lot to talk about there. I mean, some decent grappling exchanges, a lot of higher level grappling, but because it was that way, there was a lot of inversions and counters and control. It's just not a ton in favor of scoring. All right, I bring this. I no need to bring this one. There's no need to bring in the striking numbers for this fight. There weren't very many. Zhang Mingyang versus Brendson Ribeiro. Brendson. or Brendson. It's weird. Zhang with the hard low kick in and countered by some right straights from Ribeiro. They exchanged some hooks, and then Ribeiro back to landing the right straight. And then, holy shit, a huge left hand puts Ribeiro down. Then a short follow-up, and it's over. Zhang has 100% finishing rate, and you can tell. Yeah, that guy, he wants to stand there and stand and bang for sure. All right, Josh Quinlan versus Danny Barlow. It just seemed like this one was really weird. Barlow just had his number. Quinlan coming up short on his shots, not able to get the distance down. Barlow is landing some distance low kicks and some knees to the body as well as the jab. Neither guy throwing or extending combos through the first 3.5 minutes. Quinlan finally landing a nice shot with that left hand. Barlow pokes him in the eye. Barlow landing more often and doing more damage. 10-9, 35-11 for striking numbers in favor of Barlow. Just doing a better job. Barlow's use of the jab and the kips are keeping Quinlan too far out and to land any hard counters most of the time. Quinlan tries to power his way into range but misses, and then back to Barlow jab attack. Quinlan landing a hard shot to the nuts. Barlow finding even more success down the stretch, 20-18. Barlow, look at the striking numbers here, 36-21. And then this last round, Barlow landing the flying knee. So Quinlan opens up. Like, you can tell that he's looking for the finish now. He's like, he knows he needs a finish. He's getting more aggressive. And Barlow lands a hard left-hand counter. Quinlan falls all over the place. He gets knocked down 4 times in a matter of 20 seconds. Getting back up, and like his right eye is completely shot. His left eye is almost shut. Barlow put a stamp on that fight. But, it's because Quinlan engaged. I'm not gonna sit here and talk bad about Quinlan. Barlow did exactly what he needed to do. He looked really good. Apparently, he broke his arm in the first round, kept fighting, got the knockout. But my point is, like, we all talk, like, not we all, but they all talk about, oh, you need to go for it. Oh, you need to go for it. Oh, it's better to get knocked out than go to a decision and, like, not put yourself out there. Oh, go for it, go for it, go for it. And then a guy like this goes for it, and they're like, holy shit. Like, that was rough. Oh, man, I can't believe he did that. Like, what do you mean you can't believe he did that? He did what he was supposed to do, what he knew he needed to do. I commend him for that. I think, like, obviously, he's just not – Barlow just had his number. I don't know if Quinlan is destined for the UFC long term, but, this fight, it takes 2 to tango in that last round. And, Quinlan tried to deliver. He just couldn't get it done. Oban Elliott versus Val Woodburn. Woodburn right in his face, winding up, looking to throw hard, but ends up in the clinch. Elliott lands a head kick and thinks he hurt Woodburn, but doesn't. And then Woodburn lands 3 big hooks, wobbling Elliott. Elliott goes to the takedown, gets it back, landing some hard ground and pound. Elliott spends the whole round landing the ground pound, going for the neck cranks, 10-9, 28-5 for striking numbers. Oban Elliott wins that round. Second round, Elliott lands a hard right and they exchange hooks. They are just, the way he trades and just goes for, it seems like for no reason, it just doesn't seem like a recipe for long-term success. I don't think he's going to make it very far if he keeps doing that shit. He's going to get caught by a guy with better striking fundamentals, and it's going to either fuck up his career or cause him to change the way he fights. I hope he changes it early, because Oban Elliott has a ton of skill, but standing there and trading the way he does, it's not in a way that looks like it's going to be successful long-term. Woodburn catches a kick and gets to the back body lock. Elliott hits the switch easy and gets it to the ground. Val is just so tired. 20-18, 23-6 for striking numbers in this round. Last round, more of the same. Foregone conclusion. Elliott finally gets a single leg, and Woodburn is too tired to even fight it off, even though he sprawled out and did an initial good defense. Woodburn works his way back up with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, but instead of throwing, he went for the clinch. This is the situation, that the Quinlan was in. Quinlan knew he was down 2 rounds, had to come out for it. Woodburn knew he was down 2 rounds, had to go for it, and instead went for the clinch. And yeah, he made it. He made it out of this round. Right, he made it out of the fight without getting knocked out. So he's not embarrassed or whatever. Doesn't have a knockout on his record, but in the moment, listen to anybody talking about it. No one's saying like, "Oh, good move. I'm glad you went for that clinch." Like, they knew, his coaches knew that he wasn't going to get a win doing that. Quick question though. The fight was what it was. It was clearly Oban Elliott. Elliott, Kelly, Mike Bell, and Chris Lieben both had all 3 rounds for 30-27. Obviously for Elliott. Elliott, Kelly, what you giving Val Woodburn the first round for? Why are you giving him the first round? I'd have to watch it again to see how egregious that is, but in the moment, it felt pretty egregious. He was on his back. Let's see. 4 minutes of control time for Elliott in that last round. Plus, he outlanded him 28-5. Did a ton of damage in those positions. Are you telling me those 5 shots of Woodburn? No. That's egregious. That's a bad one. I'm glad that happened early so it didn't fuck up anything else, but I'm not glad that it happened at all. That's horrible. That's bad. That's not as bad as Derek Clearly's card later on. It's almost as bad, though. That's pretty bad. First fight of the night. Andrea KGB Lee versus Miranda Maverick. Not a bad fight. Pretty competitive, fun fight to watch. Maverick getting the back body lock, trying to drag her to the ground, but ends up on bottom with Lee grabbing the leg and getting to side control and then get right back up. Great switch, by the way. That was fantastic. Andrea Lee with the belly-to-back suplex. Highlight of the fight, by the way. That belly-to-back suplex was incredible. She didn't win, but that was pretty fucking cool. Maverick is landing some good left hands to the body and up top. Maverick gets a takedown to end the round. Good round after that slam for Maverick, making a big turnaround there. 24-12 for striking numbers for her. Obviously a 10-9. They both land kicks to the body, but Maverick is the only one who lands up top. Maverick is secured a takedown against the fence. Not much damage with it. Lee gets back up, but the whole round, Maverick just putting more out there. 23-9 for striking numbers, obviously in favor of Maverick. Last round, Maverick is more comfortable out there, landing well with everything. No huge shots, but enough stuff. Huge spinning back fist from Lee, but that was the highlight of the round for her. Immediately Maverick goes for the takedown. Lee is locking up a triangle to end the fight, but she just didn't have it. Looking at the I didn't think she did enough in this last round. You could technically give it to Lee for that one big shot if you think that spinning back fist did a ton of damage, and then that submission, if you think that was a legit submission attempt, she was locked in there. It was locked in. The triangle was locked in. It was the positioning of the triangle. She wasn't close enough to the neck to cut off the blood. And Maverick outstruck her in 19-15. So let's see if anybody gave her that last round. Yep, Ron McCarthy. Not a bad card. That's not egregious. That's not bad. We saw some bad cards last night. That was not one of them. All right. That is it. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Let me know what you guys thought of the fights. Let me know what you guys like to see in the future. If you guys want to see me do something else, let me know. I'm going to keep doing this. I love doing this stuff, but if you guys made it this far, clearly you're interested in the things that I'm doing. So subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. It lets you know the next video is coming out, and it helps me out too. And then also, let me know what you guys think of some other formats, some other stuff you want me to talk about. I got a video that I posted about my first year of jiu-jitsu. I've done some wrestling stuff. I've done other stuff like movie reviews too. But let me know what you guys think. Love you guys. Have an amazing week.